firstly, it's a safer place after yesterday's sentencing. And of course, the Diocese of Sodor and Man apologises unreservedly to those survivors of Graham Gregory's abuse, and I pay tribute to their bravery in coming forward. Without that happening, none of yesterday's events would have taken place.
It goes back to January last year, or goes back further than that, but to last January, I think, when Graham Gregory was first charged following a police investigation. In what way did the diocese become involved in that? When did you become first aware of the allegations, even?
Well, Graham Gregory had served a previous sentence across in England, and the news of that conviction was released over here on the island, with an appeal issued for anyone else who'd been similarly affected by the news to come forward, and that brought these incidents to light over here on the island.
I appreciate it's a 4 year and 4 month sentence imposed. He's been placed on the sex offenders register, and these are all on school girls under the age of 13. One was an 8-year-old child. I realise this is before your time, but it's been described as a grievous breach of trust with lifelong effects. Have you spoken through in your role to some of the victims, survivors of Graham Gregory's abuse?
I haven't personally. I sat through the both trials at the court's house.
They were within a week of each other, weren't they? Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and then listened to the victims' impact statements yesterday in the court's house, and to hear those was both sickening and saddening. And as I said, they've been incredibly brave to go through that process and share that testimony in the courtroom.
How difficult was it for them to come forward after this time?
Incredibly difficult. For people to bring up things that happened 30, 40 years ago and bring it back into now, things that they've probably dealt with in some way, for it to be brought back and be opened up again, incredibly difficult for them. And again, I reiterate that they're incredibly brave in doing so.
These offences date back to the 1970s and 80s. Can you ever guarantee that similar offences aren't being committed within the Church of England, in the Isle of Man, in your case, in the Isle of Man nowadays?
Can there ever be a guarantee, James? I think experience in life says that there can be no guarantee in the church or any other organisation that involves human beings. I think from our present learning and the safeguarding procedures that are in place, the Diocese of Sodor and Man's committed to making the church a much safer place these days, and we have very, very clear procedures in place. And I'm glad to say those procedures work, and the cooperation across ourselves, the police with the Public Protection Unit, and other agencies involved, there is a very good cohesion now in terms of those things.
The fact that this man abused over nearly for nearly 4 decades will shock a lot of people, and it, we talk about 25, 30 years ago. In one sense, it's 5 minutes ago. In terms of it's not that long ago in modern society. I mean, are you concerned that there could be more victims locally?
I think there's always a broader concern where somebody's had this pattern of offending, and I'm sure that there will have been other people affected, and that broader concern is always there. And I would urge anyone, on behalf of the diocese, if anyone's been affected by this news coming out, either to contact through our parish safeguarding officers here on the island, or our parish safeguarding, diocesan safeguarding officer, whose details are on the front page of our diocesan website. Get hold of them, or on island particularly the Police Public Protection Unit, and again the phone numbers on your website, I believe, from those details.
Canon John Coldwell, the Public Protection Unit. I've got the number here. Actually, it is 631 499 631 499. Canon John Coldwell, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, James.